you're doing that classic problem where you go, this is so cool. Imagine, if you will, all the things this could be. Let's all build them all at once. That is a disaster. Hi, I'm Marc Randolph, co-founder of Netflix and 6 other companies. Over the years, I've heard that will never work thousands of times, but I've learned there are things we all can do to increase the chances that they will. So join me for That Will Never Work. So what is it that I could possibly help you with today?
So I mentioned we're at this sort of growth point, and considering how we started in the pandemic and that it's just been the two of us, I feel like our growth has actually been, pretty positive and good. And we could continue along this way and continue to grow. We have no debt at the moment. So this is all, bootstrapped, which is lovely, but, we are technically underfunded. And so the position we're in now is, do we look for funding and sort of get like a big boost of funding so we could really see Design Hive 2.0, which involves, a media platform, something where we can share educational videos with teachers, apps, an educational website, more studios, a subscription style, thing for our product. That's the version 2.0 or 5.0, whatever you want to call it. Do we seek funding for that and implement that immediately? And then, therefore take on the risk of having the debt and being, beholden to investors or banks or whatever? Or do we continue at this pace, which is slower, but we have more control?
The growth is consistent.
Right.
That we've been seeing.
Right. But, like my fear is like, oh, do we miss, are we not striking while the iron is hot by kind of taking, the slower pace? So do we fund, does it take money to make money sort of question?
So you're framing the question along one dimension, which is that I either don't take the money, in which case it's slower and more deliberate and more controlled, or we take the money and we grow more quickly, but we're beholden to other people. And yes, that's one of the axes that you use to consider does it make sense to take funding in terms of choosing where you want to be on that axis. And if I was forced to choose where to sit on that axis, I most likely would advise people to be a little bit further toward the take risks. Don't worry about necessarily growing slowly so that you always can have control over things. Being uncomfortable is good for you. But I am not recommending that because I don't think you're looking at whether to take funding or not on the right axes. I don't think you guys know what your real business is yet. And I will welcome you to tell me that I have no clue here. But I'm hearing you being all over the place. You have all kinds of different customer types. You have all kinds of different product types. And then you only have a few instances of each. In other words, there's no repetition. There's no repeatable, no scalable model. And using money to accelerate that is disastrous. Because what you'll always do if you have more money is you'll keep chasing and you'll be accumulating more and more disparate things that all look interesting, that all potentially can be leveraged from your skills and your background. And you'll accumulate, how many corporate customers do you have?
Like 6.
Yeah.
6. Yeah.
How many do you think there are?
Oh, too
Like
many
a
to
zillion?
count.
Let's use 2 million.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're the STEM experts. What is 6 into 2 million? What percent is that? You don't even need to answer me, but it's a very, very, very small number. So let's call it X. Oh, this is fun. We can do math here. Let's call that number X. So you are X% penetrated, and already you're saying, oh, we need to do something else to expand our business. How many schools are you in?
4.
Yeah.
How many schools are there in the country?
Yeah.
Thousands.
Yeah.
Let's call that ratio Y. It's also very, 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 very small. So now you're Y% penetrated into education, and you're already saying, let's do something different. You're doing that classic problem where you go, this is so cool. Imagine, if you will, all the things this could be. Let's all build them all at once.
Mm-hmm.
That is a disaster. It's a disaster with the resources you have, and it's Z times disaster, since we're doing algebra here. It's use borrowed money or equity money to do those things. I'm not saying don't try a bunch of these things, okay? The ideas you have are good ones, but you have to say, if I try these things, these are not ways I'm expanding my business. These are ways I'm really trying to figure out where the sweet spot of this business is.